Hello YouTube. First I'd like to start by apologising for not being in touch for 2 years. Yes, that's pretty bad of me. I made a video, for those that don't know, I made a video back in February 2016 regarding my start on my journey for testosterone replacement therapy. Um, I was back then I was on Tostran gel, 2% gel that I had to rub into my abdomen and my thighs. Um, it didn't work. It simply didn't work. I tried, persevered for about 10 weeks and ended up going to see an endocrinologist who took blood samples, early morning blood samples, and agreed that it wasn't working for me. He put me on a new thing called Nebido, which is an intramuscular injection. It comes in vials like this, and it holds 1,000 milligrams of testosterone undecanate. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, it comes in a box like this. And I have to have that once every 8 weeks. I visit my nurse and she gives me the injection in my backside, in the arse cheek, and it hurts. But, you know, it's no worse than a bee sting. It started off as a 12 weekly program, but we realised that I was bottoming out again on the testosterone, so we dropped it to 10 weeks. Same again, I wasn't getting, it was like peaks and troughs. So then they decided to drop it down to 8 weeks, and that's where I have been and probably will stay at 8 weeks. When I first did the video back in February 2016, my testosterone was coming in at 7.7. It's now at 14, so it's pretty much doubled. So it's up in the sort of 50-year-old range, even though I'm not 50, I'm 37. Whereas before it was in the 80-year-old range. So, you know, still not where I would like to be, but I am a lot better than I was 2 years ago. I tell people that I'm running at about 60 to 70% now. Still not getting back to the gym. Still not strong enough to go back to the gym, but I am able to now pursue hobbies and interests again, which is something that I thought I would never be able to do again. Hence the green screen behind me. I've started doing some YouTube and some Twitch on a gaming channel that I've started. That's something that I'm passionate about, and it's been good being able to get back into the seat and doing stuff like that. It has took quite a long time to get here. Like you say, 2 years ago was when I did the video, and it's been a steady increase. It's not been nothing amazing's happened. I've not woke up one day and thought, wow, I'm better or anything like that. It has been a steady increase, and it's only when you look back on things you realise just how bad it was. But yeah, so my symptoms, obviously, I had things like dizziness, fatigue, you know, my balance was out, my depression, things like that. Now, the dizziness and the the tiredness and stuff like that, they have got better as time's gone on, and I do believe that is down to my testosterone. Now, the depression, that was something that was really struggling. I was really struggling with because I kept ruminating on what I used to be like and missing things that I used to enjoy as well as a healthy person that I was. So the doctor spoke to me about going on maybe some antidepressants, and that's where I am. I'm actually on citalopram, and a 30 milligram level of citalopram as well. We started at 10 mil, it did nothing. 20 milligram, a bit better, but 30 milligram seems to be the sweet spot, and that's where I am at the moment. See, the thing with the citalopram is it's making me feel a little bit more human. It's making me feel like I can actually get out and do things, and maybe not dwell so much on the past and try to look more to the future. Whereas obviously when prior to the medication, I would have days and days of pure dwell and, just feeling like the world was closing in on me and what was the point, and all these things were going through my head. Whereas, like I said, the medications helped me to get back out and about and have a bit of a social life, which is fantastic. You know, it's something that I didn't expect to be able to do. So yeah, so things are looking up, things are getting better. I had never made a video any sooner, simply because there was nothing amazing that had happened, and I was waiting for something amazing to happen before I made a video. But then I realised that you guys deserve some type of reply, and I want to be here to answer any questions that anyone's got. I'd hate to be back in them shoes that I was in, 2 years ago. And I remember scouring myself through YouTube videos and Google and stuff like that, desperate for an answer. So yeah, I am here to answer any of them questions, and I have made it my New Year's resolution to do this now. To try and be here for people that maybe are running at 10% like I was. So without that, without further ado, I would maybe want to answer a few comments on the video previously. A guy called Frank Merritt, he comes from all the way over in California, and he says that he has the same symptoms as what I've gone through. And I hope this video finds you well, Frank, and I hope that you've managed to get in with your local GP and get something sorted. It's not a hard thing to get your testosterone checked. It's just a blood test. An early morning blood test, because that's when our testosterone peaks, and so that's the best time to get that type of to get the best reading, basically. And if you have gone through getting it checked and it has come back normal, maybe have a look into what the other disease I have, which is ME. Have a look into that, because your symptoms do sound very much like ME symptoms as well, and that can be the problem with this. A lot of the symptoms do cross over into other things. ME at the moment is an area people don't really know a lot about, but it's starting to gain some momentum now, and people are funding research into it. In other countries, it's called CFS, chronic fatigue syndrome. ME, it's the same thing. And it's basically the body's exhausted. It's exhausted, and there is a case for maybe the testosterone level is low because I have ME, or I have ME because my testosterone level is low. No one really knows. It's a chicken and the egg thing. But I will say that since going on testosterone replacement therapy, since taking my medication for my depression and anxiety, things have got better. And I just want people out there to know that things can get better and will get better. It just takes a bit of time, and in my case, it's took a little bit longer than I would expect it. But we're getting there. Another thing, someone spoke about self-medicating, getting illegal steroids from your local sort of drug dealer. I would never advocate that, because it can, create problems in itself. You don't know what you're getting, and there is talk that I may have low testosterone because when I was a teenager, I did dabble a bit in steroids. I did go on a few courses of steroids because I wanted to get big quick and all that, and them type of things. I never got any bigger, but I may have damaged something in my body that now, has now caused me to have a testosterone deficiency. So there is talk of that. So I would never advocate people taking anabolic steroids, abusing them, or thinking that, this will sort it. I feel a bit down in the dumps. I feel a bit dizzy or whatever. I'm going to go and get myself some anabolic steroids to sort it out, because you don't know what you're doing to yourself. If a doctor's told you that he doesn't need to give you anything for whatever, for whatever reason, those are the guys that you need to trust. Those are the guys that know. We think we know. We don't always know. Now, if you are going to your doctor and asking for a testosterone, blood test, and for some reason you're meeting, he's not going to give you that, by all means do a bit of research. Show him some videos on YouTube. Especially in the UK, testosterone replacement therapy is still a new thing. It's very new, and a lot of doctors are a bit scared about it, and I don't know why, but they are. So we need to try and educate our doctors somewhere or another, and if it means knocking on his door every single day, eventually the message will get through to him. I had to ask and ask and ask to get an endocrinologist appointment, and even then, when I got the endocrinologist appointment, the nearest date was something like 6 months down the line, but I managed to get there. It took a lot of effort, trust me, because every day felt like it dragged. But I did get to an endocrinologist, and that guy is the guy that pretty much saved my life. He took me seriously. He sent me down for an MRI scan. He did the blood works, and he concluded that my testosterone is low. So, stick in there. But please try not to self-medicate, because I do think that you could maybe cause yourself even more problems down the line. What else? What else? Yeah, someone mentioned about Lyme disease, and yes, I've been tested for Lyme disease on a couple of occasions now, because a lot of the symptoms are very similar to Lyme disease, so I can understand people thinking that. But no, it's always come back negative. It's always come back negative. The only certain thing, the only black and white thing that I've ever got is my testosterone level is low, and that is the only thing that they say is wrong with me. Because you can't test for ME, you can't test for CFS, but you can test for testosterone, and the testosterone is low. So, that's where I've gone. I've gone that way with this, and I do feel 50% better than I was. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. If there's anything you want to ask me, if there's anything you want me to clear up, or any, then by all means, leave a question in the comments, and I will get back to you this time. I've made it my New Year's resolution to make sure that I will continue on with this channel now, because I hate to think that anyone who was in my shoes back 2 years ago, is suffering, and the need to speak to someone. Well, I'm here. Just leave a comment in the section below, and I will either reply to that comment or I will use it in an upcoming video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.